Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the cryptographic heart of digital ownership. We're going to break down exactly how a simple secret number becomes your identity and your vault in the world of cryptocurrency.
So let's start with a really big question. In a decentralized world, one without banks or any central authority to vouch for you, how do you actually prove you own something that's just, bits and bytes on a network? How is that ownership even defined? And more importantly, how is it kept safe?
Well, the answer is this really clever one-way mathematical process. Think of it like a journey that takes a complete secret and transforms it into a public identity that anyone can send money to, all without ever giving away that original secret. And this three-step process, this is the absolute core of digital ownership. It all starts with your secret, the private key. That key is then used to create a public identity, which finally gets turned into a shareable address. So, let's start with the most critical piece of this entire puzzle, that secret key.
So what exactly is this private key? The thing that gives you total control over all your digital assets? Believe it or not, it's really just a number. A very large randomly generated number. We're talking about a 256-bit number, which is a number so huge that it's practically impossible for anyone or any computer to guess. But even though it's just a number, its secrecy is everything. Think of it as the one and only master key to your digital vault.
So what does it actually do? Well, it has two incredibly important jobs. First, it's the only thing that can unlock your funds and let you spend them. And second, it creates a unique digital signature every time you authorize a transaction. This signature is like a mathematical fingerprint that proves you and only you approved the payment, all without ever showing the key itself. It's pretty amazing.
So this is the part you absolutely have to remember, and I really can't overstate it. Whoever has the key controls the funds. If you lose your key, your assets are gone. Just boof, forever. There's no forgot my password button, no customer support line to call, and if someone else gets their hands on it, they have complete and total control.
Okay, so obviously you can't just go around sharing your private key with people. So how does anyone send you money without you having to reveal your big secret? Well, that's where the magic of one-way cryptography comes into play.
This magic happens with something called the elliptic curve digital signature algorithm, or ECDSA for short. Now, you don't need to understand all the complicated math behind it. All you need to get is one simple concept. It's a one-way street. It means you can easily take your private key and generate a public key, but it's computationally impossible to go backwards and figure out the private key from the public one.
And the flow is really this simple, but it's what makes the whole system so secure. Your secret private key goes through that one-way function, ECDSA, and out comes a corresponding public key. You can share this public key with anyone, anywhere, because it's mathematically impossible for them to reverse the process and find your original secret.
So now we have a public key we can share. We could stop there, but in systems like Bitcoin, we actually take one more step to make things even more secure and a little easier to use.
And that probably makes you wonder, right? If the public key is already safe to share and you can't reverse it, why not just use that as your address? Why add another layer of complexity to the whole thing? Well, it boils down to two really good reasons. First, you get even better security. Hashing adds another cryptographic wall. So, in the super unlikely event that the ECDSA algorithm was ever broken, this extra layer would still keep your funds safe. And second, it's just plain convenient. Public keys are really long and clunky. Hashing them creates the shorter, easier-to-use addresses that we're all familiar with, and they even have built-in error checking to help prevent typos.
This is how it's done. The public key gets put through not one, but two different one-way hashing functions. First SHA-256, and then RIPMD-160. This double hashing process is what creates that final, secure, and much more compact Bitcoin address.
Okay, so we've got our three key pieces of the puzzle: the secret private key, the derived public key, and the final hashed address. How do they all work together when you actually want to make a transaction?
Well, the way we do transactions has actually evolved to get more secure. Back in the early days, people would send payments directly to a public key. But today, the modern standard is what's called paid-to-public key hash, which just means sending funds to that more secure, private address we just talked about. The system is also flexible, allowing for advanced stuff like multisig, which acts kind of like a joint bank account, requiring more than one person to sign off on a payment.
So let's recap the whole thing.
Let's walk through that entire cryptographic journey one last time, from that very first secret number to a fully working, shareable address. And here's the full picture. It all starts with a single, secret, random number. That gets transformed by ECDSA into a public key. That key then gets double hashed into a secure, shareable address. What you end up with is this perfect separation. You share your address publicly so people can send you funds, while your private key stays locked away, your ultimate secret, used only when you need to sign and authorize spending.
And this really brings us to the final crucial point. This whole process puts you, and only you, in complete control. It essentially makes you your own bank. And that's incredibly powerful, but it also comes with immense responsibility. So the real question is, are you ready for that?
Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful and it cleared some things up for you, we'd really appreciate it if you'd support the show by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thanks for watching.